Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein is so beautiful, I almost dismissed it as CGI. But it totally surprised me to find out much of what you see on screen is practical. Holy production value, Batman. Let's get into it. Hey, I'm Mike. I studied film, I work in TV, and if you love movies as much as I do, hit that subscribe button and get notified when new content's posted. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein is now streaming on Netflix, and it is hands down the most beautiful film I have ever seen. It premiered a week after Halloween, which at first didn't make much sense. Why wouldn't you release a Frankenstein film on Halloween? But after I watched it, I get it. It's so much more than a Halloween movie, and in retrospect, I'm glad it didn't get lost in the flurry of bad horror movies. Del Toro has reached the give the man what he wants and let him create status in filmmaking. It's not just Del Toro, but also cinematographer Dan Lauston and production designer Tamara Deverell, both of whom have worked with Del Toro before. Give that trio whatever they want and don't question them, because they are not making movies to be consumed lightly. They are making lasting works of art. Like I said, I was convinced Frankenstein was shot on LED screens. The sets were so over the top, so grand, so pulled from the imagination, it had me convinced they were built in Unreal Engine or Blender or some other high-end 3D modeling program and shot on giant LED screens. What LED screens allow filmmakers to do is build a hyper-realistic world in a 3D modeling program, projected onto a giant LED screen. Then the camera is sunk up with the modeling program, and when the camera moves, the world behind the actor moves also. It helps filmmakers get the exact location they want, the actors get to interact with their environment in real time, and when they're done shooting, they can simply change locations by loading up another background file. This technique is used extensively in the shooting of The Mandalorian. The giveaway is usually the sky. 3D modelers like to get fancy and make beautiful skies that would take months of waiting around to capture on film. So I did a little Googling and was amazed to find that Guillermo del Toro built models and shot those scenes practically. Unbelievable. And the ship? Yeah, he pulled a James Cameron and built a full-size sailing vessel complete with hydraulics that would move the ship from side to side when the creature rocks it. When the creature throws crew members around? Yeah, all practical. They're on wires. Actors are being flung around like dolls. I sat and watched the rest of the film with my mouth agape. For all you contrarians out there, yes, I know they used heavy CGI to accomplish a lot of what's on screen, but I'm here to tell you the CGI being used is not what you think it is. For example, I'm quite certain they used sky replacement to get some of those dramatic skies, and I'm sure the matting of the models into the live-action scenes is extensive. Still, what is being captured on film is mind-blowing. So let's back up. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein is gaining a lot of attention for being the most faithful adaptation of Mary Shelley's novel to have ever been put to film. Of course there are differences. The book is approximately 350 pages, so it's not going to be a word-for-word adaptation. The biggest difference being that in the film, Elizabeth is set to marry Victor's brother. In the original, she's set to marry Victor. William is described as an angelic child. That seemingly subtle difference changes the dynamic in the love triangle between Victor, Elizabeth, and the creature. Some other differences are that Elizabeth seems to care for the creature more than she does in the book. In the book, the creature kills Elizabeth in order to get to Victor. He knows he loves her, and this will enrage him, but in the movie, Victor accidentally shoots Elizabeth trying to kill the creature. So, there's a lot more depth there. And we have more sympathy for the creature in the film. The book portrays him as more bloodthirsty, killing indiscriminately, but in the film, the creature's violence is only really in self-defense. Del Toro is known for making movies sympathetic to monsters, and so a change like this is right in his wheelhouse. Finally, the biggest difference is one that prompts the different ending. Del Toro depicts the creature with the ability to regenerate and heal from his wounds, making him nearly indestructible. His inability to die makes him more of a vampire, begging the question, is eternal life a blessing or a curse? This same curse is explored in Interview with a Vampire extensively. Lestat bites Claudia, making her a vampire at 5 years old, trapping her in the body of a child for eternity. Both Victor and Lestat have to live with what they've done. They have cursed a being to eternal life. Frankenstein's ending is where the film strays from the book. Victor asks for and receives forgiveness from his creation and tells the creature to embrace the life he's been given. The creature is left to an uncertain future. In the book, Victor dies and never reconciles with his creation. The creature boards the ship and sets off to destroy himself in a funeral pyre. Del Toro opted for the Hollywood ending, but the book ends like a punch to the gut. There's so much more I could talk about regarding Frankenstein, but I'll need a few days to let all the symbolism sink in. Like Victor drinking milk the entire movie. Can someone say Oedipal complex? To that end, Mia Goth plays both Elizabeth, Victor's love interest, and his mother, Baroness Claire Frankenstein. Hello, Victor wants to stoop his mother. We get it. I've been reading a lot, and when I say reading a lot, I mean I've been watching a lot of videos on the internet about the Netflixification of their films. The theory goes that since people are at home, they're watching on two screens, meaning they have the movie on TV and they're scrolling with their phone at the same time. Shut up, we're all guilty of it. Because of this, Netflix tries to make the themes and symbolic messages blatantly clear. Like overly clear. Like casting Mia Goth as Victor's mother and lover clear. I really wish this wasn't a thing. It makes me wish Frankenstein had a larger theatrical release. Then Del Toro could have recessed some of those themes into the background and given more red meat for critics such as myself who like picking through the bones to reveal the hidden themes. Netflix invested $120 million to make Frankenstein. Even with theatrical attendance down, I have to assume they would have made some of that budget back, right? Can Netflix throw around that kind of money and leave money on the table? I don't know. For me, I would have loved to see Frankenstein on a 70mm IMAX screen. Can you imagine how that would have looked? Even without a theatrical release, Frankenstein will go down as Guillermo del Toro's pinnacle filmmaking achievement, an absolute masterpiece. I have said it before and I'll say it again. I love big budget movies when all departments are working at their best. Frankenstein is the best of big budget Hollywood filmmaking. I just wish it didn't have to be dumbed down for those that aren't paying attention. As always, these are my opinions on Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I'd love to read yours in the comments below. If you like this content, interact with this video. I'd really appreciate it. As always, film is about community. I'm Mike, and I love movies.